We are officially in 2025, and I have some awesome data to go over, really specific to Austin metro area. Let's jump into what's happening in our neck of the woods. First of all, new under contracts. This is a really cool piece that I'm going to show you. We're going to zoom in real quick. And what this is the data about what is under contract, right? Well, we can see here December, zooming in, we have 1,388 under contract. But if you go back further to December 2023, we're at 1,392. That's amazing. That is telling us that we're closing more homes this last December than we did the year prior. And look at that. If we look at November, 1,559. Go the year before, you look at 1,385. Again, that means we've sold more in November. We also sold more in October. This is a great trend. People may feel that real estate's not doing great, but in fact, we're selling more real estate in the Austin metro area than we were doing the year before. And even when you look at the year before that, we're still doing great. So this is a really good trend. Now, there's a feeling about, oh, I have a lot of competition out there. And that's true. That part's true. Yes. And that's part of why values have reduced. We'll talk about that in a second. But let's go to the market pricing by city. So I want to zoom in a little bit here as well. You can see in the very top, pause this. There's Austin, Georgetown, Round Rock, Leander, and Pflugerville. You're going to notice a trend here. All of the outskirt cities have at this point have more of a reduction than you have in the Austin actual metro or actually Austin area. But everything else in the metro, you see that we've had this correction. Well, here's the cool thing. When you kind of back out and you draw a line that goes all the way from 2015 to 2025, you're going to notice that, hey, the appreciation that we would have had 4 to 5% is on par with where we're at in 2025. So even though we've had a reduction from this kind of all-time high in 2022, we are still we have more expensive homes than we did back in 2020, 2019. So again, a good trend, a good direction. Now, buyer demand. Let's also talk about you real quick. The buyer demand here is, if you see the last 3 months, it has reduced, right? So not as many, quote, buyers on the market than we would have expected in maybe years past. But if you go to here, the summertime, right, kind of where that little round, if you zoom in, round little orange circle, it says negative 2% for May of 2024. That's when rates were lower at 5.5%. So we had more buyers coming to the market. Right now, interest rates increased 6.8 to 7%. And you'll see here again, December, we have fewer buyers on the market. So yeah, a little bit less demand. If you go all the way back to 2022, see how we had a lot of demand, 6.5%. That's why we were getting a lot of those over multiple offers, over the list price kind of offers. Now we're more of this kind of natural market where typically most sellers in the past are receiving about 4% less than what they originally were asking for. So that's a good thing. Going into summary of the data of December, days on market. We have 81 to 91 days on market. Why do I have a range this time? Usually I only have one number. It's because it depends on the area that you're in. If you're more in the outskirts, let's say Taylor, you're in far north, Leander, you're going to be more that 91-day mark. Something closer could be around more that 81 days. So we are taking longer to sell because we have more inventory in the market. New listings, we're at 8.63% increase, right? We actually have more new listings than we did the year before. So it's just more competition for sellers and more inventory to select from for buyers. We have a 93% closed price to original list price ratio. That means if the seller wanted $500,000, did they get it? No, they received less than that. They received 93% of that asking price. The median list price was at $430, median close price at $445. Our active listings are 10,174 listings. That's quite a bit. We have roughly 3,160 more listings that is available compared to pre-pandemic, compared to a normal market. So again, sellers, you're feeling that the price of the values of the properties have reduced. That's true because simple supply demand. If you have more supply, which we do, and your demand has stayed the same, which it has, prices will reduce because of competition. So then we also see and that's, by the way, that's 45.06% more active listings compared to pre-pandemic. That's a buttload, right? But the sold listings at 2,359 sold listings, that's a great thing because it's still in trend with selling as much or more than we have in the years past. Next, number of homes sold. Take a screenshot of this, pause this. Quickly, you'll see anywhere up to $500,000, 26% of those homes sold. Anywhere between $500,000 to $1 million, 21% of those homes sold, and so forth. So this is really neat to see because if you have the expectation that, wow, everybody else is selling, right? Everything else is selling quick, and you think that, well, you can see here that not quite. We only have a certain percentage of homes each month selling. Next, sellers. Let's talk about you a little bit more. So good news. We had more homes sold, like I mentioned before, in December, or this last December than the year before in December 2023. So it's good news. Also, more active listings. Naturally, that makes sense. We got into the winter months. Days to sell increased, meaning it takes longer to sell the property. We did have over 4 months of inventory. So again, your competition is still there. Interest rates did slightly increase the last 3 weeks of December. We had the Fed, who is scared about potentially a few things, inflation increasing and potential tariffs in the future that could also impact inflation. And that being said, the market reacted. We're at that kind of 7% range. Rates did decrease slightly to 6.8%, so they're fluctuating. Just depends on what happens. We'll see what's going to happen in January. The negotiation power. So if you're under $500,000, then understand that the buyers definitely have more of the negotiation power, but not maybe as much as if you were above $500,000. So yes, it's more of that normal feeling, that normal market when you're going back and forth with a buyer. Unique homes that are popular and priced correctly. So it means, hey, does it look great inside? Is the condition great? Those are going to get sold. Those are sold. Right? So why have values decreased? I'm going to go into that on this. It's a little bit unique, but why have values decreased? First of all, home values have declined from their summer hikes and peaks of 2024 and are now on par with December 2024 levels due to the rise of interest rates. So look to this graph. Take a little pause, zoom in. You'll see the gray line is Austin. See that peak at the very top above the 0% line? That is when we had this last summer of 5.5 to 5.6% interest rates. Basically, we had more demand from buyers because rates were lower. And that's where prices went up. Cool. Well, prices went down, as you can see that downward trend into December. Why? Because interest rates went up. And they hit that higher kind of 6%. And inventory also went up. So values went down. Also, second part, interest rates fell to 5.5%. We just mentioned that. We just talked about that. So let's go into buyers. It is a great time to buy. It's still a great time to buy, but prices will go up because naturally they do. January through the summertime, more buyers come on the market. That means more competition for you, and prices, again, do go up. New homes and interest rates will have attractive rates compared to your resale world. However, they weren't as great as they were last year. So interest rates last year for new builds could be as low as 3.99%. Today, they're around the 5.78%. It's still good. It's just not as great. Sellers, they can negotiate on inspection, repairs, and closing costs. Really attractive. And home prices are going to be competitively priced. So those that are competitive and fair will go quickly. Anticipate prices to increase in summer. We already spoke about that. And once interest rates start to decline again, home values should rise once more. So if you have any questions, you're a past client, maybe you're thinking of selling, maybe you're thinking of buying, or you just want to know what the heck is happening, we're here for you. Reach out. All right, you take care.